Hello and welcome again to the Stouting Off podcast, where we spout off commentary on the everyday. Hello and welcome again to the Stouting Off podcast, episode 33. Jordan, if you can believe that already. I'm coming to you live with Jesse Green from Handcar. Handcar, of course, is your friendly neighborhood creative agency in downtown Detroit, Michigan.
Here we are.
Is that right? Yeah. What's the major road
that
right
is
here?
right. That,
what was it?
Mack Avenue.
I was going to say Fraser for some reason. May have pulled that out of thin
Fisher is the cross street.
Fisher. Okay,
You're
Fisher.
close.
I was in the neighborhood. Jesse and I are joined live in studio, as always, by my producer, Jordan. Jordan, how are you?
Doing great, thank you.
Love to hear that. The date is January 4th, the year of our Lord, 2021. Sure. If you can believe that already.
Can't. I literally can't.
Same. Honestly, same. But it's nice to be here in the future.
The year of our Lord.
It is now. The future is now. Jesse, so just to give the listeners / watchers some context, you and I have known each other for
far too long.
How long, honestly?
I mean, I was in middle school and you were in high school.
Yeah, so I'm older than Jesse. Yeah. It's cool. I'm his senior. He has the honor and respect me at all times.
15 years?
Yeah, 15 years.
Plus, more so.
Yeah, true. Well, what's our delta? I'm 32.
29.
A cool 3 years. Human calculator, it's no problem. A cool 3 years. I remember the first time coming to learn about you was, oh man, we were probably in Christmas plays at church together.
Sure.
Was that right? You were a shepherd, I believe?
The old glory of Christmas.
The glory of Christmas. Jesse was one of the most unbelievably convincing shepherds you'll ever see in your entire life.
The tunic just flowed in a way.
The tunic was flowing, tending his flocks by night. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. But then, Jesse, when you got in high school, you began dating Callie, I believe, right around the time you started your photography business?
Yeah, pretty close. About a year after.
Jesse is one of those. He started out as a wedding photographer, and probably how many weddings have I been to where you're the photographer? I mean, what is it? At least a baker's dozen by now.
I've shot 300 plus, and you were at least 100 of them.
That's right.
If we're being honest.
That's right.
A quick third.
We can pull up the clip of you and Brett Cummins at Daniel Holmes' wedding.
Oh my gosh!
Just during his first dance. If we
were singing.
We can cut that in, can we?
Yes, we can. Jot that down, Jordan. I do have that clip.
I'll figure it out.
It was the most, and I had a mustache at that wedding. I looked so sick.
So wildly inappropriate.
It was, though. Yeah. It was very...
Wait.
What's that?
You guys were in a picture during Dan Holmes' first dance?
Yes, this guy, Dan
Holmes.
Holmes,
Wife?
a friend of ours. Yes, their first dance as husband and wife. Brett Cummins and I were...
It was all my life.
Yeah. All my life.
And Brett is the hired
pitch reference.
Is the hired DJ. Like,
Brett's
mind you, he's being paid to be there, and he's off in the corner
with me
singing the song like this.
He was blasting harmonies on like what I was doing the melody. It was unreal.
Yeah, I've got the clip of just that, and then panning slightly to the right to someone's literal first dance as husband and wife happening.
I forgot about that. I remember looking back at the table, and you guys were all like dying laughing, but also with this look of like, I can't believe you just did that. And it was only at that point that I realized, oh man, like
just the true detriment of the situation.
Did I just majorly impact that experience?
Dude, that's fun.
For those experiencing it.
Wish I was there.
Yeah. Well, get closer to Dan. Crickets. That's on you, bro. Do we have a cricket sound effect on there? Close enough. All
something.
Right. Thank you. So you did that for a while, Jesse.
Long while, yeah.
Long while.
Still slightly doing it. You're on my way out.
You still have
2020 was supposed to be retirement year, and then COVID, so I got to do the postponements.
Were
next
people
year.
Getting married in 2020?
Still did like 7 or 8.
Respect.
Some smaller guys did one in northern Michigan that just completely disregarded that anything was happening and just went all out.
So. They went for it. It's a different place up there.
I'm still here. I'm still standing.
Yes, you are.
You did one in like super remote Switzerland or something?
I've not done anything out of the country. I was supposed to do one in Italy this past year. That did not happen.
Now, where'd you pull that one out from?
What's the thing I'm thinking of? You did something.
Did you travel
mountains in the background and like?
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot in the States, like Seattle and
You did one recent, and I think I know what you're talking about,
I
Jordan.
went to
You did-
Scotland for a different project, but not a wedding.
Okay, so it wasn't a wedding, but you went to Scotland.
It was an engagement.
It was a proposal.
It was an elopement.
It was a divorce.
You'd be surprised
You'd
what
be-
people are willing to pay for
That's-
photos for their. Yeah,
so true.
it's great. And so you were doing that for a while, a long while, still one toe in the water, but also recently you began this kind of like creative agency. What would you call? I don't know what to categorize what you guys do.
I don't really know either.
Give me the elevator speech, Twitter version.
Yeah, did the weddings for a long while. Had a couple other companies in there that came and went. Shout out Mammoth Reach. That was 4 years strong. We won't get into that story. And then had a photo booth company in there. Sold that to a competitor.
Mammoth Booth.
At its end. And then Handcar started last December, and it's creative agency, I guess is the best term, but focusing on social media and like the assets that support that. So doing everything in house from design to video to photo to support social.
Yeah.
So
Sick.
we've got clients that we're running all of their social, but also like holistically supporting it with
Original
assets
content.
so that we have like
Yeah.
total control over that end-to-end process, basically.
I've seen some of the work, and to say it's decent would be an understatement.
It's decent.
It's decent plus. I mean,
To
no.
say I don't know how to describe it and to describe it like that.
Decent is
I'm
really
under-
all I
I'm under-
long for.
There's a saying about that, and I was about to rattle something off, but it's way off, so I'm just going to forget about it. But you and Doug Oliver, one of your right hand man,
He's awesome.
My best buddy.
your best buddy, you guys are crushing. So we're in the Handcar Studios studio now,
Yeah.
as we speak, right here on Fisher Avenue,
Yeah.
Mac
Avenue.
Street. So that's awesome.
Almost.
How was Christmas for you guys? You and Callie, your beautiful wife. You have what, 3 kids now?
3 kids now.
How was Christmas?
Christmas is great. It was very
I wanna hear
chill.
about it.
Didn't have to run around too much. We were chilling.
Now, when it comes to rapping, is that mostly you? Is it mostly Callie, or is
no.
it a joint effort?
It is absolutely 100% not me.
I could see Callie just having the tightest creases and folds, and
You
it's
would be absolutely correct.
right. It's a work of art based on what I know about Callie. I mean, she's
And for that reason, I am not allowed to come within 10 feet of them. My the best contribution I can bring is like throwing stuff in a bag. I can make a mean like tissue paper
and have
like
it popping
tough.
out of the bag a little
Yeah,
bit.
I can hit that, but like there's a lot of things that I'm not allowed to touch
Yeah,
because
Callie's
I'm
gonna
not
handle it.
OCD enough.
Yeah.
So like our fridge is like do you follow that Instagram account the Home Edit?
Yeah.
They have
Aren't
a show
Nashville
on
people?
they have a show on Netflix now too. They are Nashville people.
Hey,
We
yeah.
know someone.
I think she
Yeah.
follows the Stouting Off podcast. Actually, coincidentally, out of our 400 something followers.
Shout out the Home Edit.
Shout out
Um,
Jamie Bricker.
Jamie Bricker. Love you.
And so yeah, that is like that's the home I live in. So like my fridge is like color coded.
yeah.
So sick.
Which I love.
Yeah.
I'm just not allowed to I'm not allowed to touch it.
Fair.
Jude's books are all color coded, man.
Truly?
After that show came out.
Color coded by genre or author or topic or
By
language
color
or what?
mostly.
By
Probably.
by mostly color.
Okay. So you mean all right. It's color coded mostly by color. Here's what I meant when I think color coded.
So you're talking about sorted within the color.
Yeah.
You're subsetting.
I was picturing you taking. Okay, here's a red sticker. I'm going to put it on here with all the other red stickered books.
No, we're talking
qualifies
like
a
a
red
red.
sticker.
We're talking
We're
red
talking about the
spine.
actual books are
I
red
see.
and blue
Oh,
and green
well,
and yellow.
In light of that, I want to ask: does the Home Edit and does your home, Jordan, follow Roy G. Biv?
No.
No.
You don't. And of course, Roy G. Biv is the color of the order of the colors of the rainbow. You don't follow Roy G.
I
Biv.
mean,
No.
you've
but-
seen my home is extremely monochromatic. So
Mm.
Roy G. Biv entering the equation, you've seen photos.
I have.
There's a lot of black.
A lot of black and brick, which is a gorgeous look.
And a new name for a restaurant.
Black and brick.
Black and brick.
Blackened? No.
Black
Black
and
and brick.
Ampersands.
Is that a font? Sounds like one.
It's the
It's the
thing.
it's the and.
the 3 with the line through it, or the ampersand,
That's the and symbol?
like
Yeah.
the and symbol.
Oh, sick.
Black and Brick.
You teach me so much stuff, man. And for that, I want to say thanks.
Rename Handcar Black and Brick. Will you do
I
it?
mean, it wouldn't be wrong. The building is black and it is brick.
That's a verbal commitment.
He said it right here.
I heard a verbal yes in there. I went to some malls today. I went to 2 malls.
Ouch.
I was killing time between plans. Yeah, I haven't been to a mall in a minute.
I try not to.
Yeah, and I'm amazed in the age of Amazon, in the age of online retailers, how are these places still like going? Because the only thing that I was walking through there and there's like, it just seemed like stores that pop up for maybe like 4 or 6 months and then they run out of funding, like a store that sells only like Irish looking stuff, always Irish. And then there's like another place over here, like Michigan only, and it's Michigan souvenirs. And then like, who cares about malls anymore? Do you go to malls, Jordy?
Opry Mills.
You do go to a mall occasionally, but you just go there for H&M.
H&M.
Period.
Yeah.
You could do it online if your back was against, the wall, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try not to.
Yeah.
And also too, it's an outlet mall, so it's like worth going to the mall
Lower
because
prices.
it's lower prices.
Lower prices. Yeah.
It's not 12 Oaks.
Yeah.
Which is one of the 2 malls I went to today.
Which is still, from a mall perspective, is still doing pretty well.
Yeah.
But like you go into like a Laurel Park and it's like, wow, this is like a depressing state of affairs.
Well, that's the second mall I went to today.
I figured. I was sensing that.
You could sense it by Always Irish being one of the stores.
Yeah.
Michigan only. And by the way, I think we said it.
There's for sure like a military recruiting office.
There's a
in
military,
there.
and then there's of course like the Chinese gymnastics like routine. Like it's kind of like what Will talked about on the one podcast.
The one that's on the billboards
It's
always.
Shenyun,
Shenyun.
Yeah,
Oh,
Shenyun.
yeah.
It's like trying to sell tickets for that, and then there's another storefront that's like woodworking, and then there's an essential
There's
oils.
like a window sales kiosk.
Yes.
Does Tom Legault still have a store in there?
He used to have a kiosk
He used
for
to
a
have a
long
little
time.
kiosk,
He
yeah.
crushed in there.
He
Yeah.
did.
He would
I've seen him
have
slinging
lines up.
Great painter.
Great painter. Tom Legault. Never met him. Doesn't know I exist. Doesn't listen to this podcast, but
Great
shout you out,
painter,
Tom.
though.
Tom
You
is a
don't know
guy.
that.
Yeah, that's true. Went to the mall. That kind of was not great, but I went to Auntie Anne's, and I got
Obviously.
of course, I got a twisted pretzel, and it was great. And I remembered. Fun fact: many people who know me don't know this fact, and that is that my sister-in-law met Auntie Anne, actual
In the
Auntie Anne,
flesh?
in the flesh, shook her hand.
The
Aunt-
Auntie Anne.
She's the aunt to many.
Wow.
She met Anne. How cool is that?
Did
What was
she go by Auntie Anne?
Yeah.
Yeah, she said you can call me Auntie Anne.
Sure.
From what I remember, that story.
Not
being
you
told to me.
can call me Anne.
No. I mean, when you get to
call me
that
Auntie
point,
Anne.
that pinnacle of success in the pretzel game,
Yeah,
it's Auntie or nothing.
yeah. It's like Famous Amos.
Right.
You're not just going to call me Amos.
Yeah.
You're going to call me Famous.
You put some respect on my name.
Please,
Say-
exactly.
But saying that is funny. Like, are you Famous Amos? You can call me Famous Amos.
Yes.
Not even just famous.
Oh, dude, I wanted to ask you about this. I wrote this topic down thinking about you today.
Sure.
So being a person who has built his career upon, photographing weddings, and you, like you said at the beginning of the episode, you still do some weddings, right? Tell me about the people who are out here with iPads, trying to take their own pictures on iPads and iPhones and stuff of the bride, of the groom. What's that do? As a photographer, what do you think when you see the iPad or the iPhone come up?
There's two schools of thought here.
Yeah, let's hear 'em.
The first, there's people that it genuinely bothers them in their soul. That like there's wedding photographers that genuinely just cuts them to their core, and like they'll go up and tell them to stop. They'll tell them they'll swat it out of their hands, whatever
Sure.
it takes. I may have used to have felt that way at one point in time. I've mellowed out. I mean, I've always been fairly mellow in my approach to shooting weddings, but I've stopped caring in that regard of I can't, like, that's what was happening. That I'm like, that's my style anyways, to like tell the story, quote unquote. So like, your weird aunt had her iPad in front of the ceremony the whole time. Sorry, that's not my fault.
That's not my job.
Yeah.
So I'll shoot it like, and I'll get funny photos of that, and I'll do my best to get around it and still get the thing. But like, I can only control so much.
Yeah,
and like
that's
that was, I
good.
mean, we ran the last wedding that Doug and I did up north, the one that was huge still. There
it was huge during COVID, right?
Yeah.
No problem.
The videographers had, were just straight up in the middle of the aisle, and that's something that happens all the time. Is like they were the photographers. We were shooting video that time, but that's a big, like, the photo video. We're both trying to go for the same shot, and sometimes the videographers are just operating in a silo, as if we could just stand next to each other and do the same thing and work together, but a lot of times they'll just stand in the middle of the aisle and pretend as if no one else exists. So
that's not a good thing.
It's not collaborative, Jordan.
No.
More than anything.
It's so it's a journey, but
Yeah, absolutely. So I remember being at a wedding one time. Now, I was just the row behind this person, but it was a elderly woman.
Usually is.
Yeah, let's say over 75.
They love their iPads.
They love their iPads.
Let's say over 75.
Hypothetically speaking. And the whole I watched the wedding because, again, I'm a row behind her. I watched the wedding through her screen, man. I didn't even see anything in real life.
It's
I
the
was
worst.
Like this the whole time. I can't wait to see what happens next. Your iPad locked. Can you unlock it real quick? And I swiped up. And I unlocked it. No, you're good. Thanks. And I just kept watching.
It's the worst when it hurts me the most when it's like the parents. It's like they're sitting in the front row and they're watching the whole thing through a phone. It's like, you've paid me and that guy a lot of money to do what you're doing right now. Yeah. I promise I'll give you the photos.
Yeah.
You can have them after this.
Yes.
They probably think
just put it away.
Yes.
Yeah, but like if they were talking to you like at the reception, they're like, "Oh, if only you were in my seat."
Right.
Like,
yeah.
You should have been where I was at.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Have you seen it from right here?
Yeah.
Have you seen?
Yes.
If only you could see what I was seeing. But you're in the back with a better camera and a better lens, and you got a better picture than what their iPad could do.
You got a better eye, quite frankly.
You got a better eye.
That's why we're paying you, Jesse.
Quite literally here for that purpose.
Yes.
But yes. Yeah, please have your iPad out.
I was wondering on your opinion of that because, man, I feel like I remember at some point earlier in your career at one of the 100 weddings that I've been to where you've shot, being cheesed off. But time has a way of mellowing people out.
Yeah, it'll catch up to you.
It'll catch up. That's good.
I've stopped carrying on a lot of things like that because I can't.
You can't control.
That's what happened.
Yeah, it's not on you.
They were there doing that. Take it up with them.
True.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, true.
No, that's great. Now, what was that sound we just heard? Was that a drag race that was going on down Mack Avenue?
That was
86
nothing.
F-150.
I thought it was. I had train flashbacks from our studio, Jord.
84 Sheepdog.
Lloyd Christmas.
Sheepdog.
Fun fact on that front, the 84 Sheepdog.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Was doing a photo shoot for Shinola once. Shout out your watch.
And that's the chrono, the 47 millimeter chrono. I mean, it's no problem.
Episode brought to you by.
I'm not here to flex on anybody, but
but was doing a shoot for them once, launching the turntable. So it was like the very first shoot that they had done when they were bringing the turntable to market.
Yeah.
Our talent for the shoot was Alice Cooper. And we were shooting it in the owner of Shinola's Detroit house. He lives in Texas full time, but he's got his bachelor pad here. That's like this nondescript industrial building in Woodbridge that like from the outside just looks like a brick building, but the inside is like a billionaire bachelor pad. Like,
dang,
100-inch TV that's got all the security cameras tiled on it. Like everything is custom, like metal work and millwork, whatever. Owner of Shinola owns the 84 Sheepdog from Dumb and Dumber. Like owns the car. And so we're doing the shoot. Like we knew it was in the garage. We had looked at it a couple times. We're laughing about it. We end the shoot getting photos of Alice Cooper driving the 84.
No.
Wow. So you've seen it in real life.
I've seen it.
I remember
they've used it for like
Alice
a few
Cooper
promotions
photos
over the years. Like they've parked it like in front of their store in the in front of the hotel or whatever. But
does it say mutt cuts on it or whatever?
Yeah, it's the real deal.
Wow.
It's got the leg flaps over the back tires.
No
You
way.
lift up the leg and the tires are back there.
Right.
Yeah, it's chilling over in Woodbridge right now.
Quick question. What are the chances we see it tonight?
I saw the amount of security cameras, so I'd say not high.
100 inch.
I saw the system.
TV.
as
Wow.
expected, but just wondering.
You have to ask.
That was
If you don't ask, you won't
Someti-
receive.
Dude, could you imagine if he was like, "Oh yeah, no problem."
yeah.
I
We
think
could get
there's
over
pretty,
there.
Yeah, pretty fair
I could
chance.
I could see us getting over there.
Yeah,
Ourselves and our studio audience would be there in a flash.
Yeah.
We should have done this from the back of
Oh my
The
gosh.
sheepdog.
the 84
Do a-
sheepdog.
Live on the road on Mac Avenue. Live episode from Mac Avenue. Jordan did
time.
mention we do have a studio audience today, so welcome you guys. I'm a little late here. Cheers. Yeah, a little late to welcome you guys, but glad to have.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah. And Jesse and I, by the way, are sipping right now a bourbon that I love, and we always try to highlight a bourbon. Well, not always, but frequently, a bourbon that might be sipped during an episode. And this is to keep things consistent as we're coming to you live from Detroit, Michigan, our hometown.
Sure.
Yeah. And you guys know I'm from Detroit because I used to work on 8 Mile, okay? And anyone who knows Detroit knows
The
8
movie
Mile.
8 Mile.
Yeah. So that same
He
8
was,
Mile.
he was an extra in the movie 8 Mile, but he's been riding
You
that.
know-
Worked on the
He's been
movie.
riding that
worked on the
employment.
set of 8 Mile.
He's been riding that employment credit for years.
You know I was the gaffer on 8 Mile, all right? And I doubled as key grip as well.
You guys know.
You guys know that. We're coming to you from Detroit, and Detroit is also the home of 2 James Distillery. Jordan, is this fine on camera? I can't come any closer. I guess I could, but
No, it's
it's
good.
probably good here. This is one of their flagship bourbons called Grass Widow. Grass Widow is unbelievably tasty. It's accessible. You can find it in most parts of the country, but they make it just down the street from here, if I'm not mistaken.
Which
Michigan
is cool.
Avenue.
And that's barrel proof, right?
It's barrel proof. So that means they're not diluting it. For those stouting off listeners who are just getting into bourbon still and kind of still wetting their palate, understanding their appetite, beginning to intellectually unlock some of the secrets of bourbon, barrel proof means they didn't dilute it when they emptied it out of the barrel from which it aged. So what you're tasting right here is exactly what was in the barrel, minus like wood chunks and
Delightful.
stuff. It's delightful.
The non-barrel proof is one of the best bottles in the like $30 to $40 range.
Oh, it's so good.
I would agree.
Just delightful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their mash bill is unbelievable, and you can find that in Tennessee where we are.
Yep.
And where we live. Again, we're in Detroit, Michigan, and that's cool. But other parts of the country as well. So that's
Catcher's Rye is also very good.
cool. Catcher's Rye is awesome. That's another 2 James product. And
In that $40 range, right?
yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've had it.
Jesse, I'm loving your socks, by the way. As I was explaining just now, I kind of keyed in on your socks. And
I appreciate that.
blue and green is my favorite color combination.
I was gonna go a little more wild with it. I wore thicker socks with these the other day, brand new boots as we talked about prior to recording.
Yeah.
And thick socks was no bueno, too tight in there. So I
okay.
had to go thinner. I was gonna go a little more wild with it, but I kept it tame.
I think you towed the line of wild and tame perfectly.
Yeah.
So that's great.
True.
Thank you.
Can
Appreciate
you flash
that.
the sock for the
that means a
camera
lot
just
to me.
just to make sure?
No,
Okay,
just
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, get it up there.
Yeah,
It's not-
he's killing.
That's
Yeah.
the freeze frame for the title. Just so you know.
Style is definitely what I'm known for, so I appreciate you calling
Hey,
that out.
you know what though? Your kids wear like cool designer stuff. Like
They do.
Like
Is
your,
that Callie?
your son wears hunter boots, dude? That's so sick.
Yeah, this is my uniform every day is what you're looking at.
All right.
I'm
black.
going as time has gone on, I think I'm going to go the like Steve Jobs route of just the like one outfit, no
Sure.
decisions to make.
You look good in black. I mean,
You look great in black,
and
Thanks,
to be
guys.
fair, I
That's
think
why
Steve.
I brought you here.
Well, yeah.
Really boost my ego.
obviously.
And that's all for episode 33 of the Stout. Steve Jobs talked about how that was just one less thing for him to think about.
Yeah, you're not standing in your closet. You're not stressing about anything.
It's less
It's
brain
a
space
real
to
thing.
occupy.
Dude, Monica dresses our kids awesome.
Yeah.
And if it were up to
They're
me,
better dressed than me, for sure.
if it were up to me, they'd be in probably a black or gray shirt, black pants, and tennis shoes every day.
Which,
But they look sweet all the time.
they have like layers.
Yeah,
They're kids with
layers.
like
yeah.
layers.
I don't layer ever, and yeah, my kids are always.
So is it
rocking that.
Callie that mainly does that?
Oh,
Like,
100%. Yeah,
really?
I bring.
Because your kids look awesome all the time.
So she's a wrapping expert. She's a layering kids fashion expert.
Yeah, just design all around.
Design.
I just
Come on.
yeah.
We'll have her on the show sometime.
She's
yeah,
sweet.
we'll bring her in.
Hi,
In fact,
Callie.
Callie, would you mind coming?
Yeah.
She's just here somehow.
Could you just leave the 3 kids at home and pop over here real quick?
She is the painting in the background.
Yeah. That's,
Viggo Mortensen from I almost said Home Alone, from Ghostbusters 2. The painting that comes to life. Maybe that's before y'all's time. I am older than you guys by 2 years, 3 years. But
Not me.
Viggo, Josh, help me out here. Viggo Mortensen, the guy who the painting that comes to life in Ghostbusters 2.
Yep.
Are
He's
you with me on
nodding.
that? Yeah.
He cosigns.
Okay, so I'm not insane, which feels good. I always love the affirmation, you know. I had a couple other things I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to just tell you what they were, okay, while my phone loads.
Might you stout off about them?
Do you dare me to?
I could see it.
Oh, so someone hacked my fake Instagram account. So do you have a fake Instagram account?
I don't.
Do you, Jordan? A
He
fake one where
He
you
doesn't
might
want to
use to
divulge
like
in this
look
setting.
at people's stories that you don't want them to know that it was you? A finsta, fake Insta.
No.
He's looking at me as though I just asked him, how many right hands do you have?
I've never, ever heard of
You've
this
not heard of
concept.
that? I've
Never.
heard of it. I don't have one, but I've heard of the
Finsta.
concept.
Finsta is a fake Instagram. Someone hacked mine recently, though. Do you have one? You do have one? What's it called? All right.
I've never heard of that in my entire
You never ask a
life.
lady her Finsta handle.
You're right. That's etiquette 101.
For the record, somebody in this room has one. 2 people in this room have one.
Mine got hacked, though. So I went to log into it recently, and I didn't have a profile picture on it. And suddenly it was it was a picture. Let's just start there, okay? It was a picture of a guy. And suddenly I was following one account, and it was like this beautiful model woman, whatever. And I had like a couple followers. And I said...
The jig was up.
I said, yeah. But somebody got somebody got into my fake Instagram account, which just collects dust most of the time. And I reported that to Instagram, and now it got taken down, and I don't have a Finsta anymore. But that's the moral of the story, ultimately. So I'll make a new one.
I'm stressed out.
It was called Warranty Department.
Dude, I'm
It was called
stressed out.
My Finsta was
dude.
called Warranty Department.
I'm stressed.
Why? Stress backwards is desserts, dude. You ever think about that?
And that's why I'm so sweet.
Because I'm stressed.
Question.
Yeah,
You create this account
sure.
that's a Finsta, a fake Instagram, so you can look at other things without them knowing it was Drew Stoutenberg.
Yeah.
It's just for creeping.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it got hacked.
And also, whenever and it got hacked somehow somebody found Warranty Department, dude. On
They needed it.
they
The warranty department.
they did, dude. And suddenly it's got
the
a million followers.
The
It's a
Dadco
real
warranty
account.
department needed it.
Dadco. I used to work for a company called Dadco. They made nitrogen gas springs in Plymouth, Michigan, and I worked with a couple of our dear friends. Evan Nagalski, he worked there for many years, and then our friend Modi. And Modi worked in this department.
Has Modi been on the cast yet?
He hasn't quite yet been.
Wow.
A man of many words. It's a surprise that he hasn't been on yet. But Modi's department at Dadco at the nitrogen gas spring factory was polishing rods. That was like a 2-word job description. That's what he does.
It's on his LinkedIn.
He worked in polishing, dude. It was unreal. It was on LinkedIn, yeah.
If that was going to happen to any of the 3 of you,
Yes. Oh, I was
would
in
be
this.
put in that department.
I was in this air-conditioned room, like this ivory tower. It was above the manufacturing floor, and I was putting together control panels.
Just
I was working with my hands
Just
and my
twiddling?
brain. Yeah. Oh, I was like, I
Dude,
had to
if
like
Modi-
I did
just
take
watching over the
measurements.
peasants
Oh,
down
yeah.
below.
Modi and Evan down there.
Looking
Just
down.
Turn my nose up at him. There's
Dude,
no
if
problem.
Modi was on the podcast, all he would do is nod.
Yeah,
He
would not.
just stroke his
his beard.
beautiful hair.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Nobody's got a better head of hair than Modi.
We'll have to
True.
pull up a picture of Modi if you would, Jordy. Modi, yeah, for years. Modi grew out his hair when we were in 10th grade. He was in 9th grade, so that was the year 2004. And it's still like that. And for as long as I've known him, women have always come up to him and been like, how do you do this? What's your secret? He's like, I just use Perk Plus and whatever. That's it. I just live my
Suave
life.
exclusively.
He's Maltese, man. Like, that's the secret, I think. Maltese people have beautiful hair. The
He's got
island of
great
Malta is
hair.
known for that.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know if it is. Maybe it is.
It is.
Jordan, so you
It's
recently,
tourist attraction.
true or false, Jordan, you recently watched Polar Express and you were emotional the whole time.
True.
You teared up.
That's a god awful movie.
It's so terrible.
Front to back
It's terrible.
is just a terrible
Let's get
film.
him. What do you
Oh,
have to
dude.
say for yourself?
He's gonna cry again.
He's
Dude,
gonna get emotional.
I was in tears. First of all,
Give the context, though, to be fair.
all right. So we came to Michigan from Nashville.
Tennessee
and- no,
or Illinois?
Illinois.
All right. I forgot
So
you
we-
relocated.
So we came up. There's not a lot to do here right now. And so we went to Henry Ford Museum, and there's an IMAX there.
An iMac.
Yeah, there are several iMacs
Oh,
there.
cool.
There's
iMac
iMacs
computer.
there.
There's a couple G5s, G3s there. Now,
The
Jordan-
ones with the color.
Yeah, Henry Ford Museum. We
Yeah.
grew up with Henry Ford Museum.
I just
by
don't
the
know
way.
if it's called the IMAX. I don't know.
It
if
is. It is. It is.
I think
it's
it's-
a
Okay,
trademark.
it is.
The Henry Ford Museum. We grew up with this place, but Henry Ford, he was the he didn't invent motor vehicles, but he was the guy who brought it to the ordinary man, the everyday Joe. He innovated. He came up with the assembly line. He did all these things at his museum here in Dearborn, Michigan, out of which Dearborn is also the city from which Ford Motor Company operates. Still, that museum's unbelievable. They have like presidential like motorcade vehicles.
Yeah.
They have like one of the OG Batmobiles. They have the Oscar
The JFK assassination limo,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Lincoln
yeah.
assassination chair, the
Yes,
Rosa
they
Parks
have the
bus.
Lincoln assassination chair at the time that he got shot was in this chair. The Henry Ford Museum said, "Hey,
It's a wild collection.
we want to
We
bring this into our museum."
Yeah.
It's not related to motor vehicles, but it's related to the fabric of this country.
Yeah.
So we want it.
So I went there and I watched a movie.
So they have a movie theater as well. Again, pivotal to the fabric of this.
First of all, the music to the movie, even watching it like on a TV screen in my house, right? It's moving. Did you say that it's like trash?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
across
and
the board.
I co-signed on that one.
Really? Polar Express?
But
Just
I've never
a-
watched it with kids, and you took Jude. You took Juders.
But I've watched it without kids and it still was awesome.
well, now we've got to have a separate discussion.
Yeah. Now it's all right. So here's the thing. Tom Hanks obviously like plays a role of many characters in the movie, right?
That's what I hear. I saw it a long time ago. I didn't remember, but
All
we
right.
talked about it at dinner, and you said yes.
So if we're gonna have such strong accusations and feelings about
I
it,
got to know
then
my
we,
facts. You're right.
we might as well watch it again.
Yeah. No. I
Let's
got
just
it.
Let's run it
just to
back.
You're
verify.
right. You're right.
Pause this and
So anyway, yeah,
throw it on
like
the frame.
so Jude, I'm off camera obviously, but Jude, there's a lot of part, especially in the IMAX. There's a lot of sound, there's a lot of volume, and there's a lot of like,
Decibel.
and it's also 3D. So he's wearing glasses, right?
Yeah, that's cute.
He was scared. When the train started rolling, he was scared to where his eyes were wide open and his mouth was like
He was like
wide
this?
open. Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin style.
Yeah, scared.
Scare. But yeah, not
And then
so
when
much
that
like
scene
surprise as
ended, he
scare.
would like bury himself into our arm and stuff like that. Every time, I'm telling you, in 3D, I don't know if it changed in 3D because I've never cried during this movie. But when it went to Tom Hanks's character as the
the conductor guy.
not the conductor, because he wasn't.
Santa.
No, he was more so like
It's been a while.
the guy that's
Townspeople.
what is that called? He's like the
Chef?
flight attendant of the Polar Express.
Oh, okay. He's
Whatever that is.
He's the train attendant.
the steward.
He's the steward.
Yeah, he's telling people to
Clicking
come aboard.
tickets and
Yeah. So he comes on, and dude, the cartoon has the animators, these facial expressions, man. They literally made me cry because it was Tom Hanks, and he would say something like, I don't know, I don't remember right now what
Say
he said,
something.
but he would say something that had to do with Christmas, and I would look at Jude, and he was looking straight at the IMAX because he was like eyes on it the entire time.
That's really sweet.
And a tear came down my cheek.
Okay, so your thing was more like experiencing the film through the eyes of your 3-year-old.
For sure.
which I don't have the context of.
And the
I've
magic
not
of-
watched it with my kids
Okay.
because I think it's a garbage movie. So I haven't put it on the screen.
That's fair.
So I haven't subjected myself to that with my kids because if they don't know it exists, then
Can I challenge you, Jesse? Try it next Christmas.
No. this Christmas, and I'll rent it for you.
Well, okay. This Christmas,
I will rent it
Yeah,
for
next
you, send it to you somehow.
try it for Christmas 2020. Trust me, man. It's coming up here.
Try it for
Yeah, I'm
Christmas
gonna
Eve
run it
2020.
Is that when it was? Christmas Eve?
No,
Is that when you went?
no.
I just had this. Was I ticking in the chair just now? By
That's
the way,
just the chair. This is Urban Outfitters' finest.
Is it?
I'm wholly suspecting that I'll fall through it at some point in this interview.
I love
The reviews on them before we purchased them were not good.
No. I love these chairs, and they almost have like a bit of a frontward lean, like because it's got a rounded edge on the.
It's just like I feel like it's not made for someone built such as I. Like we so what happens is when Callie's designing something,
What's her process?
she owns
Yeah,
an interior
tell-
design. We own an interior design company together. Callie's the designer. She is wholly aesthetic only.
Not
So
like-
I come in as the voice of reason to be like, hey babe, you pop open those reviews that all say like it collapsed within 30 seconds of receiving it. She'd be like, that's not gonna happen on this one.
Do you guys source some of your stuff from Wayfair? You do Wayfair.
That's what these desks are.
I was gonna
Currently
ask,
unavailable, and I
Jesse.
need a couple more, but
I thought they looked
beside the
familiar.
point.
I thought they looked familiar.
not super often, but yes, those are from that. But
like
yeah, that's
Wayfair.
the process though, is that I typically am the voice of reason on either price or quality of like I am the one, she shows the vision, I'm the one that needs to go find it cheaper
Fair
and within reason.
and better.
But
built,
these
right?
chairs were an example of that when she was designing this space, where she was like, I gotta have those, and I'm like, they're $350 a piece, and the reviews are garbage. Probably shouldn't. She's like, yeah, probably just go ahead and order them anyway.
Yeah, so I bought them.
And you
like,
did.
so
And
here
you
we are.
did.
I like the chair.
Sitting
It's
in
comfortable. Like,
It looks good.
yeah, no, it feels
look
to me.
good.
It feels
Okay.
good too.
Yeah, they look good.
When we're having meetings in here, I typically sit on the couch to not subject my
yeah.
rear end to going through the chair.
So, when you guys have meetings, do you start up like with Michael, like Michael Scott? He says when he starts a meeting, he starts off with some jokes. What's your flow, generally speaking?
I don't have a great flow. I'm still
Fair.
it's all been a very new experience. I've
Having a
never
staff,
I've
yeah.
never led people before. So going from me by myself in a room editing weddings for a decade to
So true.
having 5-6 people here is a learning experience. And
Wow.
Respect.
so
mad respect.
figuring
Mad
that
respect.
out has its ups and downs.
You know, I read a book recently by Bob Iger, Robert Iger. He was the former CEO of Disney for about 15 years. He wrote a book. It was a personal memoir called The Ride of a Lifetime. And it was about his time at Disney for several years. But he was CEO for 15 years, I think, and his whole career at Disney leading up to that. He writes some unbelievable leadership principles in that book that I think you should pick up and even just listen to on audiobook. Do you do audio?
I don't, but
I don't
I
either.
need to.
Can you name two of the principles?
Yeah, well, he talks about this isn't a leadership principle. It's just kind of like a business and career principle. One of them is like don't expect to stay in your current place forever, but also don't be too caught up in what's to come as well. Like you have to really own where you are now. That's not leadership though. Yeah, I guess I can't remember. But I'm not in a position of leadership, man. I just read it just to see what this guy had to
We'll run
say.
it back.
Yeah,
I don't-
yeah. He
Yeah,
talked about when he was in they were launching Disneyland Beijing, okay? It was one of the biggest days in the company's history of ever, all time. And that morning that he was about to open the gates for the first time, while he's in Beijing, he gets a call that remember that Orlando nightclub bombing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many Disney people were there, and it's really close to where the place was. And he talked about how he had to really just really rein in the whole team and show the right amount of compassion and empathy for each individual person and make the right decision leadership wise going forward and all this thing. It's just a really good this guy he puts a masterclass on on masterclass.com for leadership. Josh, you've heard of him, right? Surely. Yeah, Bob Iger. You got to check it out.
Yeah,
I'll get you the link.
I need to pick up the audiobooks because I don't have time to read. But
Yeah, you could just blast it on the things over here and just be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
listen, team, this is what I'm going for
everybody
now."
shut up and listen. To this.
Everybody,
All right.
shut up.
Drew gave me a book. Is it The Art of making.
Yeah. Well, it's How to Win Friends and Influence
How to Win
People. Dale
Friends and
Carnegie.
Influence- yeah.
It's the human Bible, or it's the Bible of human behavior.
He gave it to me 3 months ago, and I
How's
haven't
it coming?
picked it up yet. It's right there on my dresser.
It's
all
ready
right?
it's ready when you are.
It is.
It's ready when I am.
Read it in 2021, this year.
Promise. And I said that 10 podcasts ago
Things
that
change.
I would read it that week.
But you'll read it this year.
Yep.
So that's cool. What else did I want to talk about? I had one more comment. Oh, this is just a side note. I stay with my mom over Christmas. And there's, for me, I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but for me, there's no more mom comment than, do you have enough light? When she walks into a room when you're working on something, do you need me to turn a light on? I'm like, dude.
Can I get you some more light?
I'm like, stop.
That's so true.
Stop. If I live by myself, I'm a 32-year-old man, Mom. I'm older now than you were when you gave birth to me, okay? Like, I'm old now. I'm a human adult. If I needed more light, I would turn it on myself. And
God,
not to,
moms love light.
they love light, dude.
Yeah.
Moms love
And I've
light.com.
inherited a little bit of that. Like in here, these fixtures that like only point up
True. I like that.
bugs the crap out of me. When it gets dark at night, like I wish I could just,
Crank
light
up
it up
some
in here.
direct light.
Yeah.
But
That's the mom in you.
moms
Moms
love light.
And not to mention, I'll be working on a lit screen. Do you need more light? I'm like, yo, if you turn on a lamp, it's not
built right in.
It's built in. I've seen her
Mom,
take
it's the craziest thing.
I've seen her take her phone before and put it under a light before she's done this to like
gotta-
get better light.
You got to get a good look at it.
Cheryl.
Here's
How
what-
is Cheryl doing, by the
She's
way?
doing great.
Still in the same place that you
Yeah.
grew up in?
No.
No. She
No?
relocated. She relocated actually to a home in Livonia still. Well, I guess I grew up in Westland, but right on the border, whatever. It's in the same area. And my dad bought a house, gutted it, fixed everything, replaced everything, and then sold to my mom.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's a good thing.
Does
She's
it
loving
have a boys' room though?
There's no boys'
Wow,
room.
that's
Does it have a
tragically.
swing
There's
outside?
no swing for Modi to fall in the moat outside, dude. It's not set up for.
I only had
boys' fun.
one boys' room sleepover in my
Oh,
time.
really? Yeah,
Only the one, but it was a doozy. Like there was 10 plus of us there.
Yeah, there had to have been Johnny
Um,
Nagel, Tim Brady.
Modi was there.
Modi was there. Modi lived across the street.
There was a lot of Modi farts
a
in the
lot
morning.
of Modi doing stuff. Yeah, it's great. Oh man,
The days.
the days. So
The
we go full
dags.
circle. We've been friends for a very long time, and I talked about at the beginning of the episode, and so did you, about what you're doing now. I just got to say, I want to honor you on the air of the podcast. I'm so proud of you for what you're doing,
Thank
man.
you.
Dude, same.
And what you've accomplished. Like, we talked about a couple things that Jesse and Callie have done, but we're just kind of scratching the surface. Like, they have the guts to dare greatly. So I just want to honor you, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same.
Don't know what I'm doing half the time, but
Just
going at it.
You trust your gut, though. That's like, and you got good instincts.
We're
You got a good
sitting
head on
here
your
in a
shoulders.
beautiful studio in downtown Detroit,
Yeah,
chilling, recording a podcast because of you.
because of you. Because of you, we're recording episode 33 of the Setting Up Podcast.
we needed that.
A little
I'm
inflection
glad we
there.
had that
Yeah.
segue.
You like that?
I was hoping that would hit
That's
before
no
we finished
problem.
up here.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up shortly, but I wanted to ask you about Cheryl. What's going on with Ron and Barb?
Living the dream, Ron retired a couple years ago, but then started
From
his
Delta,
own
right?
handy-
No, it wasn't Delta. It was
Brasscraft, which is a
Masco.
Masco.
Yeah, Masco.
Yeah.
yes, I know where his dad works. There's no problem.
Yeah. My dad designed toilet fill valves and shower heads for a couple decades, and
Somebody
got a few
has to.
patents to his name. Somebody's got to put those toilet parts in place.
Come on.
Yeah.
But now
Truly.
he's self-employed as a handyman and crushing it. And
Has he been by the stew?
he's been by. He hung that TV over there.
Oh, actually, that's a good segue.
That's some work of Ron.
Yeah, that
and,
frame TV was
and-
actually
E2I Design.
Yeah, that was from E2I Design, which is, I mean, it's no secret that they're one of our sponsors. E2I Design is, of course, your go-to solutions provider. If you need like audio, video, lighting stuff, regardless of your application, regardless of your venue, listen,
If you just need it.
if you need it, and you've worked with them.
I needed it.
and
I
and
got
what
it.
did they do?
They delivered.
They provided.
There's a TV on the wall because of E2I.
It looks
Design.
good, and I like that on that frame TV. You went with the black, like outline thing.
Yeah.
frame.
I haven't messed with the art yet, so that's
That's default, but it still looks so good.
yeah.
E2I though, they're your people. They're Jesse's people as well, from what I hear.
No.
Now they are, so that's great. But anyway, so how's your mom doing?
She's doing great.
Does she listen to the podcast? Do you know?
She should.
She maybe starting
she's
now.
She's wasting her time if she's not. she's got to be following it on Instagram though. If we're being honest.
Yeah, I think she might be in among the Stouting Off faithful.
If somebody's remotely within my tentacles of reach, Barb's giving it the follow. Let's be honest.
Yes. She's such a good mom. She's a wonderful woman.
If I go to a restaurant for the first time and post about it, she's giving it the
she's got the
old follow.
She's got the stamp card, like the frequent diner card already, so that's great. Do you have anything to add, Jordan?
No.
I don't really either. Do you have any less comments you want to make?
No.
Anything
I'm just here for the stout and all.
Just here for the pours.
Handcar has coffee.
Oh, true. What can you tell us about this, Jesse? Just real quick, and then we'll button it up.
So there's a coffee company called Populous that a friend of mine, Matt Farrell, is a partner in. Shout out Matt Farrell.
Love you.
They started in Bay City, Michigan, which is just a couple hours north of here. But they have a location inside the Siren Hotel, downtown Detroit. But they did something super cool when the pandemic hit. They already offer the option on their website to like custom print a coffee bag. So like you can upload like a picture of your face and give it to somebody as a gift. And they have the machinery to just like custom label and ship a bag.
Tight. I didn't know
like
that.
Jones Soda back in the day almost.
Yeah. So it's basically that concept. That was already a thing that they offered. So when the pandemic hit, they did like a small business support program where any small business could go on and apply, upload their artwork. And instead of taking a cut at wholesale price, if the bag's $18, they sell it to someone for $9 and then they sell it for $18, whatever. They sell it on their site for $18 for the small business that's printed on it. Whoever buys that, the small business gets $9, Populous gets $9. They Venmo it to you, every couple weeks.
That's
so
yeah.
I bought one.
So yeah, we didn't.
I'm gonna come clean. I bought one.
Yeah.
Like the day it came out.
It's delicious.
Do you do you have a link for this?
Yeah, it's on our Instagram.
Okay, we'll pop it on the video as well. Yeah, cool.
But yeah, it's killer coffee, and they're just like out here supporting small businesses.
That's what's up.
And we really just got it so that we could gift it to clients and stuff.
It is a baller move to say this is our coffee. Like, yeah, to give this to a client.
I remember like Instagram storying like.
I do too.
I probably
you did a pour over with it.
Yeah, I think I was like
you were one of the first.
I think I was like I'm the first person in Nashville to have this bag. I think.
Yeah, baby. Not
you
for long.
You love to see it.
It was awesome too.
So
it's good coffee. It's good.
Is it?
Yeah, I do the.
Have you given it a sniff?
if you don't mind me.
Opening it.
You do it from the back, right?
Yeah.
Just
now remember I have vasomotor rhinitis. Like I don't have the best sense of smell, but I'm going to give it a go.
Was that a real thing that you just said?
Yeah, it was clinically diagnosed when I was about 14, 15.
Shout out to Vaso.
Oh my gosh. You know what I get from this? It's like rich in like almost like nutty, like peanut butter kind of note.
Sure.
Try to get that.
I've smelled it.
What do you identify that? Is that in there?
Is
that in your flavor profile?
Dude, he straight up declined.
He's like, nah, you're actually
I'm not
way wrong.
Nah.
I saw what you looked like sniffing on camera. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. So I said awesome, but you guys know what that means. That's all. So that's all I've got.
I'd like to know. This is the first episode of the new year, isn't it?
It is.
So I'd like to know what your goals are for the new year. What's 2021 going to be?
So I'll talk personally, professionally, and then stouting offingly.
Of course.
Okay. Personally,
I want nothing less.
Man, it's been 2020 was a bit of a doozy personally. But it was a growth year, and I'll tell you what. What's the old adage? Smooth seas don't make skilled sailors. A lot of alliteration there, and with a lot of S's, and I have my work cut out for me with EQ there. But smooth seas don't make skilled sailors, all right? It's only when you go through like trouble and trial and tribulation, more alliteration, that you begin to kind of like, it reveals a lot in you about, hey, this is what I need to work on, whatever. So that was 2020 for me. I think 2021 is going to be a year of harvest. And I think personally, I'm going to see a lot more fruits of like love, peace, patience, joy, etc., compassion arise in my life, which I'm expecting.
Love that.
Professionally, I've been with this company now for about 2 years. It'll be 2 years in June, and it's a recruiting company, and I believe that professionally this year I'm going to see harvest in that area as well. A lot of placements, a lot of companies saying, Drew, let's use you for our recruiting exclusively. Stouting offingly, I mean, Jordan, you can answer this with me.
Yeah.
I really
At the same time.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. We're going to knock off Joe Rogan as #1 podcast in America. Just as we rehearsed. No, we do this podcast because we have fun with it. We get to talk with our friends, and we get to talk about what matters to us. And yeah, I think our audience will grow.
Yeah.
But that's not, it's ultimately not why we do it. We do it because we think we're contributing. We're putting something of value out there.
For the money also.
We do it for the money mainly. From E2I Design, they're just
we have fun,
cash
but it's mainly for the money.
You know what's fun is that Stout and I, Drew and I, have the understanding and like alignment that no matter what we do with the podcast, that it's fun for us.
That's our key. That's our
when
core.
When it stops being fun, it's not.
We got to make
start
a decision.
making some questions.
When it stops being fun, we got to start making money.
That's it.
We won't ever stop.
Then it becomes fun again.
Then it becomes because money
and then
is
once you're Scrooge McDucking it, then you're just
yes.
Then it's fun.
Yeah,
there we go. So thank you for asking that, Jesse. That's what's going on for me personally, and then like career wise, and for the Stouting Off podcast. Those are 3 key areas. Yeah, man, I'm excited to see what this year has. It's gonna be. I don't like to look back. 2020 was a tough year, right? It was difficult, and you can say it sucked, and it was a lot of things. I didn't experience a lot of 2020 like taking from me, but it was just like a lot of disappointment, you know?
Sure.
But I do believe like even throughout there are some positives that I'm able to kind of pull from that, you know? Like I found another gear in me, like career-wise and work-wise, that I was like, man, I have no choice but to like make stuff happen now, you know? Yeah. And you don't grow when you're comfortable. And I've always said that on the podcast. You don't grow when you're comfortable. You don't expand and level up at a time when you're just kind of like coasting along, resting on your laurels. You do it when your back's against the wall, and it's like survival mode. You know?
Yeah.
I got to do that. You know this. I mean, like, yeah, you've been doing that for years.
Yeah, it was a weird year, but yeah, same thing. Like also like major disappointments. Like those first few, those first couple weeks of March when like have never felt such just like that world crashing down around me. Like Handcar had existed for 3 months at that point, like, and nothing really changed, but like my auxiliary things that I was doing was changed. So we had 4 Airbnbs at that time, like with that we were operating.
You and Ken, right?
Yeah. And in a 36-hour period of like the world shutting down, we lost $35,000 in bookings. And like nothing on the horizon to say like, oh yeah, people are probably going to travel again soon. You're just like, you're looking at it and you're like, there's not a point that this is going to become profitable again. So like we literally like in true 2020 pivot fashion, like just shut it down, sold the furniture, found new people to lease, and just like walked away from something we had been doing for 5 years as like
a
separate brand and like a separate thing. And like we sold our house in Traverse, which was unrelated. We were doing that anyway, but like it was a weird, pivot thing. And same thing with like this building. Like I had signed on another office on the other side of town to rent, and construction was about to start, and then COVID hit, and then like backed out of everything and like freaked out. And then we were like, and then because we're in like the digital and marketing space, like our work actually like increased like tenfold.
Sure.
That's what
in
I've
the
heard
midst
about
of
your
that.
space.
Yeah.
And so like the getting was good, and then this place kind of came along and ended up buying a place instead of, and it was just like this cool thing of like simplifying life in some ways and expanding in other ways. But like to your point of like there was so much growth in the the despair of it, or the missed opportunities, or the like we had Doug and I, who works with me, had like literally just signed on to shoot all of Toyota's auto shows across the country. like we had done like 3 or 4 shows. We had done Vegas, we had done Chicago, DC, and something else. We had like gone and it was like a great gig, like paid really well, wasn't super exciting, but like was pretty easy and like just a fun thing to travel for a couple days and do this thing. And like we were in the process of bidding to like have the contract for a year. And so it was a lot of those things where it was just like, like
right. It was right there.
But like in the midst of that, you had this time to like, you know, go home for 2 months and like just slow down and like, you know, recenter and then find the growth on the other side of that. So I agree that 2021 is going to be the year of the harvest of the fruits.
A lot of sowing in 2020. So a lot of reaping to be done this year.
Do you guys agree that? Okay, so with all that being said, and with all that you said, Drew, it's easy, and it's like it's probably more popular to say, in 2020, this is everything that sucked. This is everything I lost. This is everything this is everything that could have been. But then in looking at it, you're like, all right, this is everything I gained. This is everything I'm thankful for. This is everything I had that I didn't really recognize before, but now I do.
Yeah, it feels like an easy jump in between those two. Like you can easily list both of those things where,
for sure.
Where you're like, here's all the things that sucked. Here's how my financial world crashed down around me and felt like it was not going to recover.
Yep.
But then it's that, hopefully, I mean, people that are, you know, paying attention can hopefully jump to that secondary notion of here's what the good that came of that was.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, any like brilliant thinker will always, or business person or visionary, whatever, will always tell you there are opportunities in hardship, you know? And so without going too much further into that, there were unique opportunities last year, 2020, that we've experienced all this time alone or, you know, at home with our families or whatever else. Just right, wrong, or indifferent, there were things that were unique to this past year that were not available to us.
Never would have been possible.
Never would have been available otherwise. So anyway, that's awesome, man. Thanks for sharing that from your heart, Jesse.
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
that. Well, that's all I've got for this episode. I want to honor and thank again Jesse Green from Handcar.
Wow, Thank you, bro.
Just blessed to be here.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, truly the pleasure.
Finally famous, really.
Welcome, honestly, welcome. So
F2.
The pleasure is ours. Thank you again, and the audience as well, for listening and watching to, of course, the Stouting Off podcast, episode number 33, where we spout off commentary on the everyday. Great episode, man. Good job. Good stuff.
Good job,
really,
Jesse.
Really the best podcast interview I've ever done.
You're a natural, bro. You should start.
It's the only.
Signing off from Detroit, Michigan. Love you.